Regional Championships, our second stop on our journey to Anaheim, our World Championships location for 2025. King Gambit and Rillaboom for Shimon. Going to be Dragapult and Sneasler coming out for Ibrahim.
Yeah, very offensive and fast lead coming out from Ibrahim. It's really one of the most dangerous lead duos, I would say, in this format. But of course, the team also has the bulk to play out of situations where it doesn't work so well. I think that Dragapult maybe needs to be a little bit worried about that King Gambit. Ibrahim might think the same and is going straight for a switch out.
Yeah, and of course the Dragapult is running the Terra Ghost. That means it cannot terrestrialize away from a weakness to the King Gambit. Speaking of terrestrialization, it's time to do exactly that. Time for the Dragapult to come over all crystalline, going for the Terra Ghost, so just maximizing its damage output here. Of course, something it can do is just disappear, going for a Phantom Force to get around this King Gambit, unless the King Gambit were to go for a Sucker Punch here, but it's going to be fake out from Simon's own Rillaboom connecting down into Ibrahim's, and there is that Phantom Force right now, so targeting into either of the targets on Simon's side of the field, and you cannot protect from that, and Dragapult wisely dodging the strong Dark-type move coming out from this menacing King Gambit.
Yeah, really nice play there by Ibrahim, and now his next turn is really telegraphed. You go for a fake out on the King Gambit, stop it from hitting that Dragapult as it comes back out of the other dimension or wherever it is hiding, and will hit into that Rillaboom. So nicely done there by Ibrahim, taking the risk turn one. He's saying that, okay, my opponent, you're not going just for the Sucker Punch on this Dragapult. This is too obvious. So nice play there by Ibrahim, and now he will be able to get this big Phantom Force boosted by the Terra Ghost. And Shimon, yeah, has to bring in that Volcarona to take all the damage.
And it's going to be a huge amount as well. The Volcarona, how's it going to take it? It's going to be just the immediate one-hit knockout. Volcarona not ready for Halloween at all. It's already down.
Wow, yeah. Really big KO coming out, and Ibrahim, really nice play on turn one that now, yeah, kind of, he now earns the fruit of his work, of that prediction on the second turn.
Yeah, absolutely. The Phantom Force is such a strong move, and it's a move that now Dragapult is locked into. It's holding the choice band. You'd have to switch it out and back into the battle in order to change the move that you're going for.
Well, there's another mind game now again. I mean, it would be crazy if that Dragapult just went for another Phantom Force, right? I mean, Sucker Punch is so obvious, right? But at the same time, you know, I mean, if you're Shimon, you just were hit by that Phantom Force, so maybe you want to cover it this turn.
Yeah, well, exactly. And with the switch, Sucker Punch isn't going to be doing anything. It's only a move that deals damage if your opponent's locked into a damaging move. Magmar's now on the field, ready to provide ample support. Big Wood Hammer coming down, boosted by the Grass Train into Clefable. It only hangs on with about a third of its health there, so Clefable's certainly able to withstand the deafening noise coming out from Ibrahim's Rillaboom, having to snack on that Citrus Berry as well. So now that is consumed, no more recovery coming out from that. And the Magmar taking that Moonblast oh so well, resisting that damage, and the Kowtow Cleave only bring it down to about half. You can see the dividends that Eviolite pays. If it's a Pokemon that can still evolve, it bolsters its defenses.
Yeah, and then with that grassy terrain now, the Magmar is once again looking in a decent spot. Of course, the Clefable gets the chance to maybe redirect some of the attacks coming out from Ibrahim next turn. Maybe Woodhammer, maybe Will-O-Wisp, but you could also just go on the offensive with Overheat, which from experience, I can tell you that hits surprisingly hard coming off of the Magmar.
Yeah, absolutely. Overheat, a very powerful move. It is one that will reduce your special attack by 2 stages. Going to be Terra Dark on the King Gambit now coming out from Shimon. Time for that one to do its Grin. Clefable though going for the Protect rather than the Follow Me here. So if it was targeted into, really good call from Shimon. But no, Overheat not going to be super effective anymore into the King Gambit. It still takes that really, really well. Special attack dropping from the Magmar.
But here is that follow-up. It is the Woodhammer hitting right through that terrestrialization, and that is a knockout on the King Gambit. Big play by Ibrahim.
Yeah, of course, if you terrestrialize away from your steel typing, yes, you're not taking super effective from the fire from Magmar, but you're now taking neutral from Rillaboom's Wood Hammer. And that was certainly a big old Wood Hammer that the King Gambit took there. Not one of those inflatable ones we sometimes see that don't do too much damage. And now Shimon, just down to the final 2 Pokemon, Rillaboom and the Clefable, is facing down this Magmar. Yes, it's had its special attack drop, but all 4 Pokemon remaining for Ibrahim, as well as that heavy hitter in the Dragapult and the Sneasler.
Yeah, high horsepower comes out, but Magmar is able to take that hit, and now we will get to see an interaction that, well, usually unaware is helpful, but now Hanover actually ignoring those special attack drops on the Magmar, so still doing a significant chunk of damage, enough for that Woodhammer to get the knockout on the Clefable. And yeah, Ibrahim has played this first game masterfully.
Yeah, it really has. Simon going for a drum solo with this Rillaboom here. Time to go back to the drawing board and approach game 2. The adjustments that Shimon is going to want to make there. Of course, you ideally don't want your Volcarona to just go down in one turn as it did on this game. And I think, but as you said, Marcus, you know, a switch into a choice band Phantom Force is very hard to come by. You've got the King Gambit there, but yeah, I mean, Shimon has to work out how to put those pieces in the right positions.
Yeah, the King Gambit was already on the field, and that is really, as we are seeing now, okay, the last couple of turns, Ibrahim knows how to play this super safe, just go for the follow me, doesn't want to risk any misses or anything like that. Now he can bring in the Rillaboom, or the Sneasler for that matter, just get a fake out off onto that Rillaboom, and yeah, Terra Blast. And then another turn, but yeah, this battle is over.
Yeah, that's going to be the game, and Rillaboom holding the Assault Vest, of course, it cannot protect either. What Shimon can do here is just take a little moment, as we see him doing. He knows the game is over. He's able to reflect on how to approach game 2, maximizing the time at their disposal. But as it is, Dragapult just going to go for a very scary Terra Blast into the Rillaboom. Not quite enough for the knockout here, even though it's holding that Choice Band Diaclaw, finishing off the job. And if it's some small solace to Shimon, it doesn't have to deal with any pesky status conditions because the Rillaboom was already so low.
Absolutely. Something into that powerful move, because yeah, for Ibrahim, it's hard to think about why would he want to switch something up like that. Worked out so well, and I expect the same for Pokemon to be brought here by Ibrahim.
Well, it's going to be Kingambit in the lead once more, paired alongside the Rillaboom, and it's the two heaviest hitters coming out for Ibrahim immediately with that Dragapult and Sneasler.
Yeah, and once again, I mean, I don't think Ibrahim wants to go for the same kind of play that he made in the previous game, but just going for a fake out on that Kingambit and a powerful attack from the Dragapult, like, that is, again, like, that is a threat that Shimon has to deal with. And you just have to wonder, does Shimon just want to go for the same play as in the previous game? Oh, it is the fake out into the Sneasler, but only after it went for a fake out on its own.
Yeah, well, U-turn is going to be big super effective damage into the Rillaboom here, boosted by the Choice Band. Now Ibrahim has the luxury of switching that Dragapult off, zooming off the field, ready for something to come in from the back, deciding on this teeny tiny Magmar, but it is small but mighty, able to redirect from this very frail Sneasler that has had its focus broken.
Yeah, that was the only benefit that Shimon got out of that turn, breaking the Focus Sash on the Sneasler, but he doesn't really have great ways to deal damage. Of course, High Horsepower is one move that Rillaboom carries, but yeah, Sneasler just outspeeded and could go for a Dire Claw. So once again, pesky situation here for Shimon. Has to kind of switch out and set something up, because yeah, just a Dire Claw and Will-O-Wisp or Overheat looks really strong here for Ibrahim.
Yeah, Rillaboom, its time on the stage is over. It has fainted, and Clefable now coming into the Kingambit slot. It's a nice slot to switch into because it was once a Steel type, wouldn't have taken any damage from the Dire Claw, so probably a safe switch there for Shimon, and indeed it was, but it did have to take this big Overheat coming into Clefable. It's a bulky Pokemon, but already down to about half of its HP.
Yeah, it looks like up until this point, Shimon didn't see any reason to change up the choice of Pokemon. Once again, we're seeing that same Rillaboom, Kingambit, Clefable, and once again, it seems like Ibrahim is just one step ahead. But maybe now, if Shimon can try to get something work with that Kingambit, you still need to get through the Sneasler on Ibrahim's side, but you also still have Terra available for Shimon.
Yeah, you do, and the Kingambit is just in such a tricky position. It's threatened by the Sneasler. The Dragapult is lurking in the back, has a better matchup into that, but as soon as Ibrahim clears that Kingambit, then the Dragapult just has an absolute feast on the field this game. And yeah, Clefable is doing its best to remain cheerful, go for its little dance, but hopefully we don't have that final Pokemon revealed for Shimon yet, but maybe it will be able to turn the tables.
Yeah, tough spot to be in if you're Shimon as well, and I think that yeah, this might be the time to go for a terrestrialization, because if you kind of let the same thing happen like in the previous turn, if there's like a, I don't know, like a Dire Claw coming out and you don't deal meaningful damage back, then this might just be the end of that game. So yeah, follow me, but yeah, Dire Claw should be able to knock out that Clefable potentially, and then Will-O-Wisp follow-up, that would be very bad for Shimon.
We don't often talk about the offensive prowess of Poison, far more the defensive, but in a meta with Clefable that has the fairy typing as well as Rillaboom running rampant all over the scene.
Yep.
Super effective into both of those types, so Sneasler could be in a better place, really. Kingambit is now going to be burned. It's going to be dealing much less damage with its physical moves. Kowtow Cleave into the Magmar, holding the Eviolite. I mean, look how well that takes it. Only about a quarter of its HP, so
yeah.
Kingambit certainly feeling the effects of that burn.
Yeah, and then you have that grassy terrain recovery, of course, and only one more turn for that Sneasler until that Focus Sash would be back in effect. So
yeah.
Shimon really needs to do something right now, but oh, the last Pokemon is Sneasler. That's another Pokemon that cannot really deal with Sneasler over on Ibrahim's side. So yeah, I feel like just going for some more Follow Me's and Direct Claws. Yeah, I really like Ibrahim's position.
Yeah, and I love that call-out, Marcus. If you are unaware of that interaction, yes, if this Sneasler were to recover back to full HP, thanks to the grassy terrain, its Focus Sash would be restored. It would be able to take one hit with at least 1 HP remaining. But now Sneasler facing down, how is Shimon going to be dealing with the Sneasler coming out from Ibrahim's side of the field now? Already 4 Pokemon advantage over on Ibrahim's with an unrevealed lurking in the back as well. Just some protects all round on the field right now. Shimon wanting to be as cautious as they possibly can.
Yeah, nice play here by Ibrahim. Just using that double protect to do 2 things. First of all, as we were talking about, with that grassy terrain recovery, Sneasler now all the way up back to full HP. So even if there's, I don't know, some critical hit or something, you don't have to worry about that. And then also, it was kind of telegraphed for that Kingambit to go for the protect just because of how likely it was for a powerful close combat to go into that slot. And that is, I think, what we will see this turn. Now that we know Kingambit probably cannot go for another protect. So yeah, close combat coming that way, and then it's hard to find a way back. I mean, Shimon maybe might have to try and go for that double protect on the Kingambit, and then could try to get a Direct Claw into that Magmar, get the paralysis, because with Vital Spirit as the ability, you cannot get the sleep, unfortunately. Yeah. And then you have to hope that next turn, Follow Me, yeah, fails to be used because of the paralysis, and then you get the Direct Claw, maybe the sleep on the Sneasler, but that's a lot to ask for. One other way, okay, coaching, maybe that helps to actually take that close combat, but it is Stellar boosted.
It is Stellar boosted, so it's going to give a one-time boost to any different type of move Ibrahim were to lock into. Close combat, it is able to hang on this Kingambit, but of course it's now burned, so it's not able to dish out the damage that it would like, even with that coaching boost, with the burn neutralizing its physical attack output. And there it is, the follow-up overheat from the Magmar. Not often that you see the supporting Pokemon able to pick up the knockouts, but certainly this one has been cooking.
Yeah, really well done here by Ibrahim. Identifying that, okay, worst case, even if that double protect came through, worst case would be, okay, Direct Claw, what's it gonna do really? You already have the burn over on that Kingambit, then the Magmar is also so difficult to knock out here on the other side for Shimon. So, yeah, really clinical play here by Ibrahim.
Yeah, really good. Is it going to be insult to injury with a status condition on the Sneasler? No, it's not. But onto the Magmar, neither. Overheat now connecting down into Shimon's. Of course, it does have all of those special attack reductions from using Overheat over and over again. So Sneasler is going to hang around for another turn. But now Ibrahim is just dotting the I's and crossing the T's. And if we look at the other Pokemon that Shimon could have brought here, Dragonite and the Volcarona that we saw in the previous game, you do now get the sleep on the Sneasler. So Snoozler doing its best job right now on the field. But unfortunately, a little bit too little too late. The Magmar able to go for another overheat here. And yeah, the damage reduced. But maybe the Sneasler, it just doesn't match up too well into the opposing Sneasler. So yeah, just heading towards the very end here. But interesting to see the Dragonite or the Volcarona come out in this game.
Yeah, I think Dragonite in particular could have been in a nice spot here against Ibrahim's team, just because, yeah, after a scale shot, depending on how the Dragonite and that Dragapult are trained, maybe the Dragonite could have been faster than the Dragapult after a scale shot, and then scale shot, of course, is probably the best answer on Shimon's team to deal with opposing Sneasers.
Yeah, certainly is. You hit through that Focus Sash scale shot, especially holding the loaded dice. Hits multiple times, but that's Shimon's team. The winner of the round is Ibrahim Maarouf.
Yeah, well played.